my boys, queens. Hope you got your crowns on. I'm your host, April. I'm living proof. If you have the right mindset, anything is possible. No one escapes negativity, but together, you can overcome and learn how to live like the queen you are destined to be. In this podcast, we are going to be talking about boosting confidence, positive body image, health and wellness, mental health, relationships, and self-love. We will be speaking with a therapist, personal trainer, and much more. So grab your teacups and let's have a royal chat. Hello, all my boys, queens. Hope you got your crowns on. You too, all my boys, kings. Welcome to Queen's Royal Chat. I'm your host, April. So today we have a special guest, my therapist, okay? Her name is Cassandra. So let's just welcome her, everyone.
Hey guys, I'm Cassandra. Thank you for having me. So exciting. Before, I think I was telling her I have to pick my outfit. I was like getting ready. I've been ready for like 3 weeks. But I'm Cassandra. It's so exciting to be here. I am, how old am I? 27? Oh, 27. I'm a licensed mental health counselor. And yeah, like April said, I am her therapist. She is lovely, wonderful. Like I love talking to her every week. Okay, so there's probably a lot of confusion between social workers, psychologists, mental health counselors. So I fall under the mental health counselor bracket. And so what that means is I have to go get my master's. It's a 2-year program at any school you go to unless you do part-time. And pretty much it's the same thing. We offer counseling services, individual, couples, families, children, whatever. Same thing. The only difference between social workers and mental health counselors, social workers kind of work more with like the overall community. So if you're in need of, what's it called? Kind of like extra food, extra place to stay. Typically, a social worker would be more knowledgeable in like the different, areas and numbers to call. Although mental health counselors can do that as well. But that's just like the whole gist of it. Pretty much they are the same, but social workers have been around for a long, long time. Mental health counselors, this is what, maybe like our 5th year, maybe a little more. So that's the difference between that. And then psychologists, same thing, but they just go get their doctorates. Whereas we're kind of just like mental health counselors. We go to get our master's for mental health counseling. And then to become licensed, we have to take this big exam. And so right now, it's
I know how I feel about that. Okay, but anyway, continue.
Yeah, so it is a lot, but once you get licensed, you get to practice in the state that you're licensed in. So I'm a licensed mental health counselor in the state of New York.
So now, Cassandra, I wanted to ask you, how are you doing with the whole COVID? I know this is like not the greatest time, but how are you? How's this have affected you and your business? And
that is a great question, and I think you're the first person to ask me. So I'm gonna be real. COVID has been honestly a mix of like good and bad, obviously. Keeping in mind all the people that lost family members and just close people due to COVID. Yes. I'm so sorry. It's a horrible thing, especially because we don't know what's coming next. We have an idea, but we just don't really know. Correct. But in terms of how I've been kind of maneuvering it, it was nice to not have to go into the office, every day. I used to work 6 days a week. I think I told you I worked.
Wow,
I don't
know. So honestly, Cassandra, you're saying there was at least one pro out of the whole,
exactly.
Because I know you missed your clients.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Seeing
And that was like on the other end of the spectrum where it's like, okay, I'm glad to be working from home, but I still miss that like human connection. Right?
We don't know, but like you said, we can just hope and pray, and hopefully one day it will be. Hopefully we'll take off these masks. I mean,
although yours is looking nice. So.
Oh, thank you. I mean, y'all better get on to it. Y'all see the QRC mask, y'all better get into it, okay?
So thank you for explaining that about COVID, because I know it has been crazy all over. Everyone I speak to, it's like, I guess it's something from a scary movie that you wouldn't even think of.
So right now I'm in the process of building my own practice, actually. So for I know, can we get a amen?
Okay, all right.
But
she's good.
so for those of you who are tuning in, I worked part-time at a place where actually I met April. So I've been doing that for about 1.5 years, and the whole reason for me going to school, getting my license, is so that one day I can be my own boss, and kind of run my own clinic. So that boss queen, right?
We have a boss queen, okay? She's a boss queen. She's doing her thing. And listen, everybody, we want to wish everybody well. We want everybody to just grow. That's basically what Queen's Royal Chat is really about. I want to see especially my boss queens. Women empowerment is what Queen's Royal Chat is really about. And I just love the whole idea of you want to get your own practice. I think that's just amazing. Now, for those that's at home right now and they're dealing with, say, they have toxic family members, toxic friends, they're in a toxic relationship. What would you tell those people?
Run. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm joking.
Listen, get your sneakers, get your bag, get the car ready. When you sleep or she sleep, head out. 12 a.m. Okay, get your stuff ready and just leave. No, I'm just playing, but
I think a lot of people fail to realize how common it is. The quick answer, maybe like the short answer, is you have to, one, figure out your boundaries, which it's easier said than done. So boundary, I'll just explain it really quick. It's where a line begins and where it ends. So you want to know where your line is. And the way to kind of do that is figure out what your values are. And if you're thinking like, well, what the hell are my values, right? You got to dive in deeper. So this is where sometimes it is beneficial to kind of like go talk to someone. Doesn't mean you're crazy. You're just trying to make sense of the situation.
It's like therapy, or even seeing counseling, or even seeking some kind of help. It's like, it's a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Certain communities, you're going to therapy. Oh, we don't do therapy, or we go to God, or we talk to this one and that one. When in reality, it doesn't matter what relationship you are in or situation. To me, I think you do need to see someone outside that's not inside of your circle, but that can talk to you and give you that real.
Yeah. I think a lot of the times we kind of grow up soaking in what the past generations have told us, right? And it's like, oh, you're going to therapy, you're crazy. You're going to therapy, like, I don't understand. You're just being lazy. Get up, go to work. Like, it's not that. But it's like, okay, that worked for you, kind of just like masking your depression, masking your anxiety. But I'm actually trying to, get to the root of it and trying to fix it. So I think, at the end of the day, it comes down to, one, kind of just breaking those generational,
the curses.
Yes.
Shall I say? Because that's what it is. And you coming on the show is very important, because people out there, they are dealing with issues. They're scared. Maybe they don't, I don't know if I should go, or if I go, Mm-hmm. So I think that this episode is very important for people to see and know that it's okay, it's okay.
Yep. Yeah. I will say there are a lot of therapists out there who, they're not the right fit, and there's no shame in that. And I love to tell everyone that I have a consultation. So let me explain. If you're thinking about going to see a counselor or a therapist, whatever, they should kind of give you a free 15-minute, 20-minute consultation call, because that's where you get to ask them whatever questions it is, like, well, how do you work? What is it that you do in session? So you can really see if they're the right fit for you. And if they're not, the beauty of it is that there are like a million more therapists, and so you can reach out to them as well and kind of see like, okay, can I find the right one? Because that's another thing, you know, sometimes people go one time and they're like, damn, like I really did not like that dynamic, and so that means therapy is not right for me. This is not the case. You know, you're absolutely going to find someone that just, it clicks, and you're not going to feel kind of scared to open up. Therapy is scary. It is, you know, having to share things to a stranger. It is very scary.
It's like you're most vulnerable
yes.
to a stranger that you don't even know.
100%.
And I didn't know the part about the finding the right therapist, because, you know, I went to therapy years ago also, and, you know, one of the therapists I had, she was nice, but she was too more of, okay, like, what's going on? Okay, let's move on. Like, basic. You know, like, when I talked about certain things from months ago, it would be, you know, well, you know, you're improving and moving on. So, more of, okay, like, let's move on. And it's like, okay, but, you know, so.
Yeah, you know, there's definitely a therapist out there who's going to meet you where you're at, and that's the most important thing. You know, you want to feel comfortable, you want to feel, in a sense, that they're kind of, because therapists can be a lot of things, right? Obviously, I'm not going to be this fun, like, bubbly person for someone who's coming in and they're just super down about life, right? So the therapist should know fluidity. You know what I'm saying? Like, knowing how to act with certain clients, getting to know their clients first and foremost to see, okay, how should we act with them? And it's not about being fake. It's more about just meeting you guys where you're at. So that's just a piece of advice. You know, don't feel like you're stuck with one therapist, because you're not. And if any of them make you believe that you are, there you can run. There you can just ghost them. Don't go back. You know what I'm saying? But
pack up your stuff. Take your insurance away, if you're paying insurance or whatever. So I know how that goes.
But yeah, that was a good point, because I feel like a lot of people are nervous to start. It's really just a casual conversation. You know, it's not anything like, okay, we're gonna dive right in as soon as you come to the first. No, like, kind of just play by ear, and we'll see where it goes. But that is a good question.
Thank you for clearing that up. Now, if you don't mind, I would like to go back to the toxic, what we were just speaking about a moment ago. But what would you tell somebody that's watching?
I would first and foremost ask you guys, who are your supports? You know, do you feel that you can open up about your situation to anyone that you feel like you can trust? We all know how exhausting they can be, that little cycle, right? It's very exhausting. So if you feel like you cannot talk to anyone about it, please, like, just go talk to someone, right? And I think the second thing would probably be to kind of just be open and real, right? To yourself. You know, a lot of the times we're like, okay, well, maybe I deserve this, I don't deserve anything else, or I won't be able to find anyone else. And one, obviously we know that's not true, but I don't know what it also depends what kind of toxic cycle they're in, right? If it's like physical, emotional abuse, you know, maybe I can include some hotline numbers at the end of this as well. But
definitely, please.
You know, that is something that's, nobody has to endure that. So right off the bat. But if it's more just like the general run and chase, like, okay, I'm breaking up with you, and then it's like, oh no, but I want you back, and then you break up, and then you make up. That is more attached to like attachment styles, and we can go like on and on, you know. But we each grow up with certain attachment styles, and pretty much what that means is it resembles the relationship you had with your caregiver. So if you're a child of divorced parents, your attachment style might be a little, you know, skewed. If you grew up in an amazing home, loving parents, and they didn't really, you know, argue, you have a secure attachment, which means when you grow up and enter relationships, you're not going to necessarily be the jealous type or the insecure type. Like, if your partner says, hey, like, I'm going to go hang out with the boys, okay, babe, it's totally fine, just, you know, be safe, right? none of the extra questions. So we can go on and on, like I said, but it's really important to kind of figure out what your dynamic was growing up. And you guys are probably listening like, what the hell? How do I even do that? But this is why it's so important sometimes to kind of just schedule time to talk to someone who knows how to help you identify those things. Like I said, it doesn't mean you're crazy. Sometimes you just want to know more about yourself, but you don't know where to start. And that's kind of what we're here for. It's kind of just creating like clear steps for you guys to kind of just be like, oh, okay, I'll start there and I'll do what I need to do. When you grow up, your family is your first support system that, you know, a child has growing up.
Right.
And so that sometimes it's so sad, but other times it's like, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah.
It can literally make or break your future relationships because you grow up thinking this is normal. You know, people yelling at each other, cursing at each other all the time, that's normal. So guess what? When you grow up and you start forming your own relationships, friendships, romantic, whatever, outside of family, you're gonna have no problem cursing at them.
Yeah.
Or even just thinking like, well, or waiting for them to curse at you. If you're trying to meet them halfway and they're not meeting you halfway, because that happens a lot, right?
Yeah.
Especially in those toxic relationships we're talking about. What do you do, right? If you're trying to do the work and the other person's just like, either they don't see it or they just don't want to, you're kind of left with, okay, now I'm stuck, what do I do? But there's really only two choices. Like you said, you either just stay and you manage it, aka kind of just deal with it and hope that one day they change, or you kind of just do what you got to do and let them figure it out on their own. And if the day comes that they decide to want to change, guess what? You were still doing it on your own. You did what you did what you needed to do. And if they want to, you know, catch up, yeah, come on, catch up. There's always room. Yes, it's difficult, but there's just two choices. You just got to pick one, you know, and hopefully they kind of pick the other one, like the second one, right? It's like, okay, you know what? I still love this person, but I'm going to do what I need to do what's best for me. And I'm just going to hope and pray that one day they kind of just wake up and get it, that they can also have this life. They can also, you know, have their own journey of growth. But again, it's hard. It's easier said than done. I'm sure yours, it didn't come overnight. It was work. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Listen, it's still work to be done. But at the end of the day, you know what? I'm just keep striving at it.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's all I can really do. Keep working at it. And, you know, some days we do fall off the wagon. Listen, I'm a honestly believer because I fall off the wagon all the time, okay? Cassandra, I want to thank you so much for coming by
Of course.
Queen's Royal Chat and just blessing us with your greatness.
Of course.
And I do want to say, do you have an email or maybe a social media page or something that you want to give to the followers or the fans and they want to reach out to you? And
definitely. So you guys, like I said, I have availability, but you guys can email me at kfranco at Luna, LUNALMHC.com. kfranco at LunaLMHC.com. That's the email. And then I have an Instagram page where I post mental health content. It's called at LunaLMHC.
We here at Queen's Royal Chat, we love you. Thank you so much for coming by and blessing us. And we would love to have you again one day.
Of course. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep it classy, keep it real. And remember, when that crown starts to fall just a little bit, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it next week on Queen's Royal Chat. Until next time, I'm your host, April.